Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The humanistic study of a body of literature. Creative writing of recognized artistic value. Published writings in a particular style on a particular subject. The technical literature. The profession or art of a writer. Her place in literature is secure. Set afire or burning. A lit firecracker. The humanistic study of a body of literature. He took a course in Russian lit. Provided with artificial light. A brightly lit room. The humanistic study of literature. The work of a writer. Anything expressed in letters of the alphabet, especially when considered from the point of view of style and effect. The writing in her novels is excellent. The act of creating written works. Writing was a form of therapy for him. The activity of putting something in written form. She did the thinking while he did the writing. Letters are symbols that are written or imprinted on a surface to represent the sounds or words of a language. He turned the paper over so the writing wouldn't show. Usually plural, the collected work of an author. The idea occurs with increasing frequency in Hemingway's writings. The work of a writer. Anything expressed in letters of the alphabet, especially when considered from the point of view of style and effect. The work of a writer. Anything expressed in letters of the alphabet, especially when considered from the point of view of style and effect. That editorial was a fine piece of writing. An open avowal, true or false, of some belief or opinion. A profession of disagreement. Affirmation of acceptance of some religion or faith. A profession of Christianity. An occupation requiring special education, especially in the liberal arts or sciences. The body of people in a learned occupation. The news spread rapidly through the medical profession. Hindu literature written in Sanskrit. A body of historical literature. The writing of history. A philosophical theory of criticism, usually of literature or film, that seeks to expose deep-seated contradictions in a work by delving below its surface meaning. A philosophical theory of criticism, usually of literature or film, that seeks to expose deep-seated contradictions in a work by delving below its surface meaning. Putting something, as a literary work or a legislative bill, into acceptable form. A transition, in literary or theatrical works or films, to a later event or scene that interrupts the normal chronological development of the story. An unexpected but vivid recurrence of a past experience, especially a recurrence of the effects of an hallucinogenic drug taken much earlier. A transition, in literary or theatrical works or films, to an earlier event or scene that interrupts the normal chronological development of the story. A period of dullness or boredom, especially in a work of literature or performing art. Putting something, as a literary work or a legislative bill, into acceptable form. The act of putting something in writing. The act of publishing again. Something that has been published again. A fresh publication, as of a literary work. A literary reference to a pretty young girl. The bud of a rose. Literary, a spirited horse for state of war. A violent commotion or disturbance. It was only a tempest in a teapot. Literary, a violent wind. A tempest swept over the island. The physical condition of being stretched or strained. It places great tension on the leg muscles. Feelings of hostility that are not manifest. The diplomat's first concern was to reduce international tensions. Psychology. A state of mental or emotional strain or suspense. He suffered from fatigue and emotional tension. A balance between an interplay of opposing elements or tendencies, especially in art or literature. There is a tension created between narrative time and movie time. Physics. A stress that produces an elongation of an elastic physical body. The direction of maximum tension moves asymptotically toward the direction of the shear. The action of stretching something tight. Tension holds the belt in the pulleys. Made for or formed by carving. Carven is archaic or literary. The carved fretwork. Made for or formed by carving. Carven is archaic or literary. Stood as if carven from stone. Of literary or musical or dramatic or artistic work, protected by copyright. Used of a story or literary work, capable of being adapted to motion picture form. A style of architecture developed in northern France that spread throughout Europe between the 12th and 16th centuries, characterized by slender vertical piers and counterbalancing buttresses and by vaulting and pointed arches. As if belonging to the Middle Ages, old-fashioned and unenlightened. A heavy typeface in use from 15th to 18th centuries. Characterized by gloom and mystery and the grotesque. Gothic novels like Frankenstein. Extinct East Germanic language of the ancient Goths, the only surviving record being fragments of a 4th century translation of the Bible by Bishop Ulfilas. Characteristic of the style of type commonly used for printing German. Of or relating to the language of the ancient Goths. Of or relating to the Goths. With speed. Poetic, literary, quickly. In the habit of doing something. Was wont to complain that this is a cold world.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.